right. Good morning, everybody. Happy, what day is today? Wednesday? Yeah. Welcome to the morning show. This is Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel, JC Parets, Steve Strazza. What are we talking about today? You guys want to talk about Disney? They just reported. That's always fun. Maybe we'll talk about Disney. I don't know. As per usual, I don't know what's in the guys' minds. I don't know what's on their mind. I don't know what they want to talk about. We'll find out. I mean, I can assume that Steve wants to talk about Uber. They just reported, right? Or if not, they're about to. So we'll see. Maybe AMD, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We got Brian Lund on this show today. That's always fun. We like talking to Brian. We'll have Kenny Glick stop by. We'll have Mary stop by. Good morning, chat. How are we doing? Oh, yeah. Thank you for the reminder. I almost forgot, Brian. I almost forgot. It's a Fed day. What does that mean? I don't know. Does it mean anything? Should we care? Poll in the chat. I'm going to put a poll in right now, and then I'll bring on the guys. Real fast. Start a poll. Do you care about FOMC today? Yes. No. Let's see what happens. Okay. Poll in the YouTube chat. Let me know what you think. Let's bring the guys out. Where are they at?
Oh, we back, baby. Happy Wednesday.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Whenever we're at the zoo and the boys go by the camels, they start going, hump day.
As they should.
And then, like, all the other parents start laughing, and I just shake my head. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even tell them to do it. They just do it. Like that, in their head, that's what the camel says. Like, the cow says moo, the dog says rough, and the camel says hump day, and they do that. They extend. It's really funny, actually.
And what does Morgan think about what you taught them?
She thinks it's funny. Like, you know, very few of the obnoxious things I do, she finds humor in. It's usually me making myself laugh, and then her shaking her head. But in this case, she actually does think it's funny.
I do too.
So one for the good guys, right? That never happens. Welcome to Married Life, Spencer.
Hey.
And you're about to be married to a mom, so good luck.
And you guys are going to the zoo together.
The house is going to become a zoo. All right, let's talk markets.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Dow futures up almost 200 points this morning. That's about 0.5%, 41,100. S&P 500 futures up 1/3%, 56.45, up almost 20 handles. NASDAQ 100 up as well, 40 points to the upside. 19,920, still under that 20,000 level. 30-year bond futures up a little, pushing 115. Crude oil up 1/3%, just under 60. Copper down 2% this morning, 467. Gold down 0.75%, just under 3,400 an ounce. Silver down almost 1%, just above 33. With the VIX still above 24 for the VIX. Over in funny money land, Bitcoin, big moves last night, pushing 97,000 flat this morning. Ethereum up 11 points. That's over 0.5%, 1830. Binance 608 up almost 1%. Solana 147 flat this morning. Total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 2.95 trillion. How do we feel about this morning's futures?
They're still trying to resolve these flags over in crypto land.
Big moves last night. There was some moving and shaking, in the old funny money land. Any particular reason that they're setting for that move, or it's just markets doing market things?
I don't think there was much of a big move.
No.
I mean,
wasn't there like news that the Trump was going to meet with the she? Am I saying that right? Is it she? Z?
You are saying it right. Yes.
She. So the dude's name is she.
There's a big announcement coming. Big
announcement.
Really big.
Is it the biggest announcement ever?
Probably.
Such a big announcement.
It's probably going to be really big.
Very big.
And China's doing what they can from a negotiating standpoint. They announced some cuts, some easing last night. The Bank of China. I thought you'd get a really nice reaction from Chinese stocks today, but you're not. They're up slightly here, but the yuan is down a bit, so that's weighing on FX.
Can we just talk about Steve Strazza's tweet? If you could throw up slide 2 there. Steve Strazza's tweet last night. I just I shook my head in disbelief. Could throw up slide 2 there. This was Steve Strazza's tweet. This is chief market strategist of All-Star Charts right here, just adding value to the process. Rest in peace, China. Right? She's no longer with us.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I saw the breaking news about China, and I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, this is the value add that Steve Strazza brings to the table. Quality work there, brother. Quality work.
Yep. You're welcome.
So what about this? We're gonna get into Uber now in a second, but we got to talk about this Taiwan dollar. Throw up slide 4. This is the new dollar in Taiwan.
Currencies.
15 sigmas, bro. 15. That's a lot of sigmas.
I said, Rick, are you sure about that? He said, yeah, it's like the biggest move ever. I said, wow. All right, great. But you're seeing it all over Asia is the bigger story, right? Thai baht breaking out. Even Todd Sohn is talking about emerging Asian currencies these days.
Dude, can we just talk about 15 sigmas? That's like, it's
a lot of sigmas.
This was statistics class, that would happen like once every 10 billion years or something crazy. It's probably not that, but it's a lot, right? You have a higher degree of likelihood to get struck by lightning twice in the same spot than for this to have happened under a normal distribution curve. How about that?
I think it's great.
Needless to say, markets are not efficient. Market returns do not fall under a normal distribution curve. You can tell your statistics professor to fuck off. And so in markets, there is irrational behavior, there is arbitrage, and there are inefficiencies that create opportunities for you and I to make money. And this, like you need another example, is Exhibit A. Shout out Taiwan dollar.
I think the real big story here is that this weak dollar theme or trend is not going away, right? In fact, you're just seeing more and more participation with every passing day from foreign currencies.
Can we get a slide 6, please? Chart Master Flex. Is that taken? Chart Master Flex?
Nope. Nope.
Take that.
You can have it.
Who would be our Chart Master Flex? It would be Fonz, right?
Definitely.
All right. Chart Master Flex. I kind of like that.
You like the bot though? You see the bot?
Well, it's not just the Thai bot. You're seeing it, the one, you're seeing it all over the place. This is a great chart. I'm pretty sure this is Rick. Shout out Ricardo. Of course, the Mexican guy is crushing it with the emerging market Forex. You see how this is working? The gringo from Connecticut ain't building these charts. It's the Mexican guy. You see what's happening here? That's why we need emerging market team members, right?
We got them.
We got them. We got emerging market team members. Shout out Rick. It's a great chart here showing the Taiwan new dollar ripping, and then an equally weighted basket of East Asian currencies looking exactly the same. And so what are you thinking? You thinking East Asian currencies are not going to rip here?
Everything but dong.
Everything but the dong.
Everything
so short dong. Short dong?
No. I think you give the dong time to catch up. It'll get there.
You strike me as a short dong kind of guy.
The dong's gonna wake up here.
I see what you did there. Speaking of dongs waking up, how about that hymns, huh? 18% yesterday.
So I thought about this. Spencer, come. Best CEOs of this cycle. We're gonna go in order here. Thought about this for a long time this morning. Long walk, just thinking about CEOs. Okay, 1. This is for this cycle off of the bear market lows, 22 for some stocks, 23. Number 1, Jensen Huang. Fine, get that out of the way. I think, though, there is a sound argument to be made that Alex Karp should actually be in the top spot. So those are your 1 and 2. You got Huang Can't argue with what NVIDIA has accomplished this cycle, changing the world. That's great. Palantir, Alex Karp is number 2. Who am I going to name 3?
Elon Musk.
No.
Elon Musk created more shareholder value faster than anyone in American history.
He
It's
said,
not Elon Musk.
he said this
It's not on the
cycle.
list.
He said this cycle.
Oh, this cycle. Okay, my bad. I didn't catch that. Okay, caveat. Fair enough.
Well,
enough.
Steve wrote about Warren Buffett the other day, so he.
You know what, Spencer? I don't even think of him as a
Warren
CEO.
Buffett ain't a CEO no more in this cycle. I don't know if you heard.
He is a CEO. Yes, more. He's a CEO.
I didn't have him on the list, but he
How much
deserves
longer
an
is he
honorable
CEO?
mention.
6,
3
7
is-
months.
3 is Dara K.
He's a lame duck. Warren Buffett's a lame duck.
Leave him alone. Okay.
I love Uncle Warren. I'm not hating.
All right.
Dara
Okay,
K.
right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not done. 4. Who is the 4th best CEO of the cycle?
4th best CEO of the cycle, Brian Armstrong.
Yes. Nailed it. So good. So good. What he has done for crypto, the way
And
that
I don't
they
know whether
navigate-
he is or whether he isn't, but I hang out with you enough to know that that's what you think.
PC. Remember, not long ago, we had very, very smart friends who thought it was literally over for Coinbase. This was a popular opinion. This company's done. Look at what they've achieved. Look at where they've come from just over the past couple of years. Look at how.
Where does the old sailor Ponzi scheme fall in?
Gonna
He
ask.
doesn't, dude. Come on, give me a break. And
Really?
then
He's outperformed every CEO that you're talking about since incorporating his strategy.
Andrew Dudum.
Every
No.
CEO that you just mentioned has underperformed a one Michael Lawrence Saylor. I don't know if his middle name is Lawrence, but in my head, that would be a good middle name.
No, he can't be in the top spot because his strategy blows up. It's great during bull markets, and then it's going to be a zero.
All I'm saying is that you're mentioning all these CEOs that you have a man crush on, and you're not mentioning the one guy who's outperformed them all.
Vlad is so lame. He's not on the list. No, Michael Saylor's not on the list either because he's not an operator. He's not doing
Right,
anything
so how come
special.
all the
He's
other
just
names
doing
in here?
something
He's
crazy.
not an operator, but what's a CEO's job? A CEO's job is to increase shareholder value, is it not?
Yeah, but it's reckless and irresponsible what he's doing. That's not a good CEO.
Reckless
Just
and
the fact that
irresponsible.
he's willing.
And how long are you, MicroStrategy?
Just the fact that he's willing to take ridiculous risks that
And
no
how,
one.
and how long are you?
Very long.
Very long. Okay.
You're doing good.
I rest my case, Your Honor. I rest my case.
So can I finish?
Yes.
Number 5 is Andrew Dudum of Hims and Hers.
Wow.
Number 5. What?
Can you throw up speaking of rising dongs, slide 2, please, there, so you can show polarity. This is what they teach you in technical analysis kindergarten. Literally, this is what they teach you. Former resistance turns into support. We call that polarity. And there you go. There's that SPAC, right? Spencer loves a good SPAC, right, Spencer? And then so you got the resistance there in 21. You got back there last year, failed both times, and then ultimately broke out last year and successfully retested that. Can we get back? Can we zoom in here? Zoom in on just what's happened over the past year. There's that 24 level. Zoom in on the next one. Zoom in. Next chart. There you go. So there's a zoomed in look at last year's resistance right around 24. This was also the resistance in 2021 that turned into support at the beginning of the year, turned into support once again last week, and absolute face ripper. So I want to give a big shout out to the short sellers. 30% of the float was short. I want to give a shout out to all of the folks out there who think that this is a scam and that the stock is going to go to zero. If it wasn't for people like you, we wouldn't be making as much money as we are. So big shout out to the short sellers and Hims and Hers. Forced buyers, we love you for participating along with us. Thank you.
It's been good. Oscar Health up 17.5% pre-market. We've been talking about this one. We are involved. It's one of the best looking failed top setups. Notice how this stock refused to get oversold and really refused to break down from the top. If it can't go down for that long, there's only one direction left, and that's up. Trading back into the middle of the range right now. Looks great.
Can I just talk about something? And I want to keep it real for a second, right? I want to keep it real because this is one of those situations where we woke up a week or two ago, I forget, and the stock was up 30% overnight because they signed some deal with Novo Nordisk, right? One of those other fat pill companies.
You're going back to Hims and Hers now, right?
Yeah, still with Hims and Hers. But, it was one of those things because I literally bought the stock. I was long. and I was waiting for a move above 30 to get to get the kicker for the options, right?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you buy the common and you buy the options at the same time. In this case, I was actually trying to be more conservative and just wait for that move higher before speculating on the options. And we got a gap higher. So I never got in the options.
That happens.
So this is one of those situations where, like, as happy as I am that we're making money, it's very frustrating because we should be making a lot more, right? And that's life,
I'm the same way.
Even it real.
I'm underexposed to this as well. I had a lot more exposure last year.
Who isn't?
Oh, well.
Right? Who isn't? Like, we're long, and we're like, it's hard for me to be happy about all the money we're making because we should be making so much more, right? Think about that. That's real life.
This is one of those stories where, like, I just keep thinking to myself, can it really get much better? Can they keep delivering? Can they keep delivering? And just quarter in, quarter out, and then even between quarters with all the press releases and announcements, it's just been nonstop.
Herb was telling me yesterday. Herb says Hims is senseless based on what they reported, and I got to tell you, I love it when names on Herb's list are senseless, right? We should call it the senseless list because, you know, what's great about Herb is that, you know, he brings ideas, you know, from the short side, names that are generally going to fall, and then we can really wait for price to confirm that and then participate to the short side. Hims and hers, there was no reason to ever be short, so which is part of the reason why we're long. But the fact that he's out there, somebody who knows a lot about this company, talking about how senseless this is, makes me so much more bullish, right? Like when Herb's names are not falling, holy crap, are they ripping? And this is a great example. This is a name that we'd never be short. Herb thinks that it should break down. It hasn't yet. One day maybe it will. And in the meantime, it's a long.
There's an interesting. I just almost I just laughed to myself. We need like a senseless scan or like a senseless 7 custom index.
I have it.
You got it? Okay.
I got it.
I got one
working around here. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Look at this. MicroStrategy. Nope. Strategy unveils bold data and AI solutions at Strategy World 2025, giving organizations back control of their data. What?
I don't know what any of that means.
MicroStrategy. So they're an AI now too? We're supposed to believe that they're an AI now too?
Well, I'm pretty sure he bought $20 billion of Bitcoin using AI.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's cool or not. I'm just saying that's what I read that, so it must be true, right?
Yeah. You know, if we can't buy stocks with AI, what are we even doing?
I mean, I just use my brokerage account and my fingers. Like, you know, maybe call me old fashioned, you know. Can we talk about Uber? Let's talk about Uber.
Yeah.
Because this thing's down.
Yeah, but it's a nothing burger.
That's what I'm thinking. You know, this yesterday in the meetings, Sean was looking for this exact same pullback. Me, I'm a selfish bastard. I was hoping for a gap and go myself, right? Sean, our elder statesman, you know, right? Is Sean 50 yet? Sean's got to be turning 50 soon. Sean 50? No.
So Uber missed revenue expectations, even though trips were up 18% over last year. Why? I'll have to dig in. I don't know.
You're the one with the man crush on their CEO.
Dara was talking this morning. I missed it. I'll go back and watch it later. I do think it's interesting that they seem to be wanting more exposure overseas again. Right? They divested a lot of their overseas stuff, and now they just bought Trend Y'all Go. Anyway, a Turkish food delivery platform. They're paying $700 million in cash. Expect the deal to close in the second half of the year. Expect it to be accretive to growth. Better be accretive to growth. All right.
Can I just say something that I ordered Uber Eats yesterday for the first time, maybe ever.
What'd you order?
I ordered from the ale house, like one of those Miller ale houses.
Yeah. No, well, there's a lot of them in Florida.
Yeah, I got wings for me. I got fish and chips for the kids.
Yeah, great.
I was thoroughly impressed with the whole experience. Uber Eats. Remember we were talking about it the other day, and I was saying how I don't use Uber Eats. I use like DoorDash and Grubhub, but I used Uber Eats because that was my homework, and it was a lovely experience.
It's not cheap. It's not supposed to be. It's a luxury.
None of them are.
So everybody complains that like it's not cheap. It's not gonna be cheap. This is for people who are happy to overpay for food to be fucking delivered to their door.
That's right.
and it's
That's
worked.
right. Yep.
So,
It's like one of those people. It's like one of those people who like, I think about this a lot because like I watch people like spend all day like building things when they could just pay someone to build it for them. Or they spend like all day like mowing the lawn and they give you this bullshit. Well, I really like mowing the lawn. Yeah, sure. I bet you do. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like what is your time worth?
Nobody likes mowing the lawn, Spencer. Nobody likes it. Okay.
People who hate their families like mowing the lawn because it gets them out of there. You know what I mean? Like if you love your family, you'd rather be with your family than mowing the fucking lawn. You pay people to do that.
Shout out Charlotte in the chat.
So Uber Eats is like that. Like some people, I like driving to get my food. All right. I don't. I'd rather be hanging out with my kids or like looking at charts or like, I don't know, getting a root canal. I'd rather do anything than go get food,
I don't even want to leave the house. The older I get, I don't even want to go out there. There's traffic everywhere. There's people all over the place. There's so many people. You can't go out without seeing people. Am I wrong?
Oh, it wasn't for all those people in the way.
Every time I leave my house, people everywhere.
Yes, this is true.
This is true. Facts only there, Spencer. Facts only. All right. So before we bring in Kenny, what are we doing here with the Uber? Are we I like it above 82. Below that,
this looks healthy. Like, let it come back, kiss those pivot highs from February a little bit. It looks like it's going to open around $82 here this morning. That would be like a pretty perfect retest of the peak from just February of this year, and then going way back to February, March of last year. Let it check.
What do you think the stop is? What's the stop? It's a little messy.
I don't know. I would set it right there, maybe 81.50, 82.
Yeah.
Most people are probably already in this one, and you know what you do? Nothing.
Yeah, I'm looking for an entry here, but it's come a long way fast. But the relative strength in Uber compared to all the other trannies is next level.
Let it pull in and then just buy the breakout.
Let it pull in and buy the breakout.
I
was hoping to do that today, actually, on a gap and go, but we didn't get that.
No, but you might get something better. You might, they're testing the waters below right now. You might get a big bull golfer by the end of the day.
What about like a half a position now and then add the other half on the breakout?
I'm a big scale guy, so always.
So half a position now, no derivatives, and then you add the other half and the call options on a breakout.
And I would go out with the calls. You can almost leap it, right? There's been so much sideways. You want to give it time to dance, come out of this big range, and then also give yourself time to catch that big reaction rally when it does come. I think you could go 6 to 12 months with these calls.
All right. Do we have Sean on today? Is Sean coming on today?
No. Did we do all the earnings?
That's Thursdays.
That's Thursdays. All right, let's bring in Kenny. We got BC Lund in the house. We can talk about pod stocks.
Tariffs.
Steve, we missed my favorite. We talked about your favorite. We missed my favorite, which is Disney, but we can talk about that later. Kenny's in the house.
We'll do Disney.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugging. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Do my whole segment today. What's up, boys?
Walt Disney. Shout out Mickey Mouse. Shout out to the mouse. Are we fading? If you ain't fading, you ain't trading, is how I learned it, Kenny.
I don't like anything about Disney anymore. Especially, I was talking to somebody who went and got the Ultra Pass now or something. I think he said it was $1,500 for just the four of them for the day. It's unbelievable. I don't know how anybody could afford that. I don't know why they're building a new park. It's crazy. But
listen, I'm not worried about who can afford it or who can't. All I know is when I'm there, I'm spending a fortune, and they got some racket. And the way I see it, if you can't beat them, join them.
I used to be a huge fan. I don't know. It became absurd. I mean, I'm looking at it from a distance. I used to love it. I've been there 3 times. I mean, there was a time where we actually tried to get our money back because you couldn't get on anything. That's how crowded it was. But going back to when I was a kid, I always thought going to Disney started by going to visit a hotel. My parents would put me in a room with a bunch of other sweaty kids with a broken Atari, and we'd be wondering if our parents were ever coming back to get us. So my parents would go to timeshares, and they would give you free tickets to Disney. And that was tradition. So every year we'd go, we wouldn't go to the theme park first. We had to go sit at a hotel and go on some sort of tour of a hotel. And next thing you know, we got free stuff. And then later I remember when we finally had some money, my dad was making some money. When we went to Disney, we didn't go to the timeshare. And I was so confused. I'm like, wait a second. Isn't there another process here? He's like, we're stepping up, son. We're stepping up. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. I knew we'd made it as a Glick family.
When you don't have to sit through timeshare pitches. So one
Yeah,
of the most depressing things you'll ever hear.
Yeah, we would drive to Florida too. Drive there and then go to timeshares.
Have you ever heard the pep talks that they give the salespeople for timeshares before they go on and sell?
Oh, I think I was part of the sales team at one point in my life. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
It is terrible.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They used to put some music on. That's why they used to. I actually was at a selling contest. They would throw James Brown on to get us pepped up in the morning. Yeah. So there you go.
Ken, we've been talking about Disney since 80, bro. Since 80.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to fight it. I do love Marvel. And I mean, that was one of my best trades ever. I bought Marvel at 30 cents when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was coming out. And I was like, how is this franchise not going to, resurrect itself? And then bang, that was the beginning of the next big thing, I guess. And it's a shame that they bought, I think I wound up selling it on the, I forgot where it was, but it was ripping before the takeover. And then I didn't have a lot left. I think I was in the 20s or whatever. But yeah, good purchase by them. But as far as I'm concerned,
I like being long Disney as a hedge against a lifestyle of me going to Disney. Dude, I'm dropping like 15 grand before I even left. Like 15 grand in the hole before we even left to the freaking theme park. We're still in our house and I'm already down 15 large. Oh, you gotta be long.
My wife would never go to any of the. We had to go to what was the Grand Ballroom one. I forgot it. Everything's white and awesome, and we
Grand Floridian.
Yes, we paid like $30 for pancakes. I was like, "What are we doing here? What are we doing here?" And then
they got a nice spa there.
Yeah, and Mickey Mouse.
It looks exactly like the Del Coronado. It's a replica.
Yeah. It was a good time. I mean,
why are you being such a hater? It's a nice place.
I'm a hater now. It's so damn expensive. It's become out of reach for most people.
Yeah, but when you're a shareholder, you want it to be.
Oh, you love it, yeah.
$12 hot dogs. Let's fucking go. Make it 20. Let's go.
$40 churros. Yeah.
Hell yeah. They're called churros. Sorry. Not churros. They're called churros.
I knew I triggered you on that
Christ. One. Churros. Did you just say that? Churros. All right. Let's get.
Well, it's breaking highs as we're talking. It's breaking highs as we're talking. But I am looking to play the fade. But I'm going to show you this chart. This is actually, we were suggesting it as a short, and I was showing people, want to see a cool trick? I don't know if anybody knows this, but take a look at the charts here. I don't know if you see my charts. You got them up? Boom. There you go. So here's the Disney chart, right? So you had the big move to the big fat whole number, which was 100. You had the little blow off top moment right there. So I was saying, hey, look, this is where you short the stock and look for the reversion to the VWAP. It actually happened. This was a decent trade, $100 entry. You got down to the 98.65, but then VWAP said, all right, not so fast. You probably want to buy this dip. That's your faux show, bro. So both sides just kind of won. So now I look for, now that it ripped through new highs, if I'm going to short this, it's going to have to break down through the 170 and the 100 for that reversion back down. But here's a neat trick. So a lot of people, we were talking, I'm trying to explain the differences between the faux show bro and the blow off top. The easiest way to see it is put a minus sign in front of the symbol on Thinkorswim, D-DIS, right? And now you've got a trending down stock. So some people will see it better now. So basically, if it comes back below where it broke down from, you're a buyer looking for it to get back to the VWAP and then possibly break. People see long trades better than short trades for some reason. And that's how you do it, my friends. Just put a minus sign in front of the Disney and you'll get a feel for what I'm talking about, maybe a little bit more visual. So there you go. But, as far as Disney's concerned, again, I'll take, Obviously the Hims trade yesterday, my dislike for the company, I sat out of a 7-point rip at the open. It was insane. I mean, but that's kind of why yesterday was a clinic on how you could plan for something or just don't think about it. There's differences. You're thinking about what you want to do. My belief system got in the way of me buying Hims yesterday, and it was a phenomenal trade. It's a faux show, bro. VWAP break. How am I not participating in that? I eventually got paid on the blow off top short, but you got to keep your emotions in check. So again, just because I'm a hater on Disney right now doesn't mean I'm shorting the stock. Wait till the setup happens, and then we'll short the stock. If it happens, it happens.
Kenny, I did ask you, even if you're broke above the blue line, you wouldn't buy it. And you said nope,
Right.
nope, I wouldn't buy it. And I said,
Which should be incentive to the people that Sometimes it's.
I had a feeling. I had a
good
feeling this was
trade,
going to
yeah.
happen. Yeah,
But it was a wild trade. It was a wild trading session on Hims. Again, it was actually a tough trade. Some of the other ones, the Dash kind of was sluggish at first. Some of us lost money here on that first VWAP attempt to break. But again, when you're buying that VWAP break after the faux show, bro, and if it doesn't happen, you're basically selling it as it breaks back below the prior candle. So every one of our trades, they're clearly defined. And the best part about them is that the risks are always limited and your upside is generally unlimited. So limited risk, unlimited rewards. That should be on my tombstone.
I like this Bill R note. The Snow White indicator is 106. If Disney can close above 106, the Snow White indicator, then things have changed. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
The Snow White indicator. All right.
If this woman would have just kept her mouth shut, that's all she had to do. Just shut up.
Well,
that's all she had to do.
Life
isn't that hard.
It's also possible that it was just not a good movie. Right.
I saw it. I didn't think it was that bad, considering it's the worst movie of all time in terms of dollars and cents. I've seen way worse movies. Okay. It was really because this woman couldn't keep her mouth shut.
I didn't see it. I can't say. I'm just saying it's possible.
This is a business. This is not like your job is to promote the movie, not to talk about how you think that women should do this and the politics and all that stuff. You idiot. You moron. So I hope you guys are out there watching. What a moron this lady was. All she had to do was just keep her mouth shut. It's really not that hard.
Don't be so mad.
Nobody's mad. Who's mad?
You sound mad. You sound mad.
All the woman needed to do was keep her mouth shut, and she couldn't do it. She didn't.
All right. Let's go back. Let's go back to singing Little Mermaid tunes. Now you see her sitting there across the way. She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. You love it.
And that
I
right
love
there.
That. Dude, we go on the Little Mermaid ride so many times because my kids learned that when there's no line, you could just do it again. So every time we finish the Little Mermaid ride, they want to do it again.
And that is why I love Disney, because that song is burned into Kenny's brain, and it will be forever. Even though
I've seen
that movie probably decades.
You got to kiss the girl.
Okay.
By the way, how does a crab with a Caribbean accent wind up in Russia? Is what I want to know.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not following.
Yeah.
Well, they're in that sea. What's the sea that they're in? Out in Russia.
It's not specified. What?
No, it is.
I don't know. But the market just hit VWAP and got rejected in a big way. So let's go shorting something. All right, I'm out of here. Let's go. I'm going to go back to singing some Little Mermaid with the friends.
All right, hitthebid.com. See you, Kenny.
Peace.
Yeah, they're in that sea out in the Russia area, which is why I always wondered how they got the guy with the Caribbean accent to make it out there. That's tough. No?
I'm Googling.
This is interesting. Grab is up pre-market, and I was thinking, oh wow, is this up? Is this sympathy to Uber's M&A deal, right? Buying an overseas food delivery company, but it's not. They're actually in talks to acquire, what is it, Indonesian? Now, an Indonesian ride-hailing service called GoTo. Have you heard of this GoTo? GOTO.
Wait, so is this the Deliveroo deal? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't think it's Deliveroo. I think it's literally called GoTo Gojek. It's Indonesian. Grab has hired advisors trying to get this done by Q2 of this year. Grab currently in talks with several banks to discuss potential financing options. Some M&A going on in the ride-hailing and food delivery space out here this week. That's interesting. I think that's great.
I see what you're saying, JC. The story of the Little Mermaid was written by Hans Christian Andersen. He was Danish, so that's near what you're talking about.
No, right? Sorry to tell you, Denmark is nowhere near Kazakhstan. Spencer.
What are we talking about?
Okay, I don't care.
I know it's east. I know it's east of the Hudson River, and you don't like to cross, rivers. But Denmark is nowhere near Kazakhstan, which is where the Caspian Sea is. Nevertheless, the point is, how did a Caribbean crab wind up in the Caspian Sea? That's all I want to know.
I don't know. Brian Lund, please save us from this. I don't even know where we're going today.
The stone.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
What do you think about Herb Greenberg hating on your love for the blue pills guy?
Are we talking about blue pills? What, that's Viagra? What?
Dude, I mean, it's only 9 o'clock. We've already covered the long dong. We've covered the blue chews and the hard mints. I mean, we're just rolling.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
I'll try everything once.
I got an email from All-Star Charts this morning telling me about how FinTwit OG, one Brian Lund, is going to be on the show today. How does it feel to be a FinTwit OG?
Yeah, it's funny because what does that mean? Like 2010? I mean, it
means original. It means original gangster.
No, but yeah, he's talking years. He knows that part. Thanks, Strazza.
Wow, rough crowd. Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like it's that long, but
I think at least 10, 15 years is OG. 2010 is definitely OG.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, so I guess that's OG, right? I was just thinking this morning about who I met first in the FinTwit community. It was Joe Fahmy for sure. I think Sean after that. I'm not sure where you came into the mix, JC. Probably Stocktoberfest.
I probably came into the mix. I have a picture with you somewhere from way back in the day that I could find. I probably came into that mix like, I was already in pretty deep, like 2009, 2010, like when Josh first started his blog and we started doing things with like Perlman and Linzen. Like right 2009, 10.
Sometime back on the StockTwits blog network, we probably met somewhere around there. I'm guessing.
Definitely. Any advice from some of the youngsters that are now kind of getting into the mix, maybe some lessons, some do's and don'ts, some things to think about?
You mean for social media, FinTwit social media? I mean, just in general?
Just kind of people just like starting their blogs for the first time, kind of learning. I was with some folks last week that were like, oh, I'm going to meet all these people that I've never met before that I only know from the internet. And someone like yourself who has met a lot of people in person that they originally met on the internet.
Yeah. So you just mentioned Josh. So I'll give you some advice that Josh actually gave me at the first Stocktoberfest, because I was on the precipice of trying to decide how I wanted my blog to go. And at that time, Josh was obviously getting a lot of traction, and so was James Altucher, right? And James seemed to be like trying to follow the latest trend and how to game the system. And it just seemed so forced, but he was getting lots of traction. And Josh was getting traction, but not quite that much. But he was being just, Josh, he was being a real guy. And I said, I'm not sure which way to go. Do I try to market this thing? And he said, don't do the Altucher thing, right? Just be honest and be yourself. And in the short term, you'll see other people that will they'll get hot real quick. But in the long term, that will win out. And goddamn if it isn't right. I mean, look at Josh's trajectory and anyone really who's been, just true to themselves and not trying to sell a service or anything like that. So it's tough because the instant gratification is you want to see those numbers click up. You want to see lots of likes. But I think in the long term, you just got to be yourself. And that's the only real differentiator these days, especially with like AI, where someone can put a blog post out in the click of a button. The only thing that's going to set you out from somebody else is your brand. I know it's a douchey term, but like that's who you are. That's your personality. And that's only going to come through with you being honest and, forthright with people.
I know, but Brian, think about how much more money you'd make if you had like that big bushy hair, like that Albert, think about that. Like that'd be
I'll make a bet here. I'll bet that when the lights are turned off in the Altucher household and in the Brown household, I'll bet you one of those two people is much happier, regardless of what their bank account is. And for me, I'd rather be the person that's has a happier life.
Okay.
Look at that mic drop right there. Nobody said anything.
I'm on mute over here, so
Okay.
I don't like AI and the way it writes. And
Mhm.
I can tell when people use AI to write their blog posts. I think it's obvious. And with what we do, the one unique thing that we bring is our original thought. And if you're going to let AI write your blog post, then you're giving that away. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And people that are doing it are totally missing the value that they're supposed to be bringing.
Yeah, it's the way I look at AI is I look at it as like a tool. Like, so go back maybe 10 years ago, right? Or 20 years ago. And let's say you're an athlete and you're a high school athlete and you're trying to, get into D1 when you graduate or when you go to college. Maybe you come from a more affluent town that's got a better weight room, that's got better trainers, you got supplements, right? It's the Drago versus Rocky thing in Rocky 3, right? I think AI is just another incremental tool that some people can use. And if they already have that, special differentiator, that personality inside of them, that AI is going to help them get it out more. If they don't, it's just going to put out pablum and it's not going to differentiate them from anyone else. I mean, for someone with ADHD like me, AI is amazing because I can actually refine what's in my head, like what I want to say. The process between getting it here and onto the page is sometimes very tough. AI can help me with that. It can't write it for me. It can't give it the personality, but it can help me use my thoughts and things. So I think it has a place, but it's not gonna. You're right. I can totally tell when somebody has written something. There's a lot of people on FinTwit right now that are putting these epic tweets about an analysis of some stock, and I'm just like, that's just an AI button push.
Next. Yeah,
really.
Next. I'll use it.
You want to know the hack? You want to know the life hack? I'll give you the life hack. You know what the life hack is? Just wake up an hour earlier. That's the life hack.
That's so 90s, JC.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you wake up an hour earlier. Like sometimes I feel like overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I got so much work to do. Whenever I feel that, I just literally wake up 1 hour earlier. And by like 9 o'clock the next morning, I'm like, man, I feel great. Feel caught up, feeling good.
Mornings are the best.
It's not that big of a deal.
I think as you get everybody else too. Oof, it's good.
I think as you get older, your body cycle shifts. And for me, there's nothing more exciting than getting to bed before 9 o'clock and then being up at like 4:30. I love it. Like no one else is up. It's quiet. It's cool. You can think. So yeah, I agree with the getting up early for sure. But going to bed early, I think is a.
But you're in California. That's just the lifestyle out there in California. You know what I'm saying? Go to bed early, wake up early. Like when I lived there, like that was like a thing. On the East Coast, it's the opposite. You go to sleep late, you wake up late. In Europe, it's even worse, right? You go to bed even later. You wake up even later, right? California goes, the further west you go, like the earlier they get up and the earlier they go to sleep.
I remember when I went to Spain, and I've been there a few times. And the first time I went there, they're eating dinner at 10 p.m. Right? They would tell me like, oh, if you go to the club at midnight, that's when the high schoolers are there. Like the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds don't even get there till 2. And I mean, it was crazy. It's a totally different. And then in the middle of the day, everything's closed. Like you try to find something in the middle of the day in Spain or Madrid, and good luck on that.
I can't believe their economy is such a shitter. You got the same thing in Italy too. I walked in, I was in Rome once, and I walk into a restaurant and literally the lights are off and the chef is in the middle of the dining room, like on like one of those like towelettes, like just laying there with his fat belly, just snoring his head off in the middle of the day. It was like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, just laying there on the floor, right in the middle of the dining room. Swear to God, this is in Rome years ago.
Now, first time I went to Spain, I made a mistake. I went in August, and basically everybody is on vacation in August, right? They take like 6 weeks, and nothing was open. And so, yeah, it's not a shock that there hasn't been a lot of innovation out of Spain and Italy and
that's right,
that area.
That's right, but that's okay. That's okay. Just keep making that wine, baby, and just keep cooking that food, and we're good. Call it even. You got Germany fronting the bill for all y'all. Like it's all good, BC Lund, speaking of Germany, making new all-time highs. Those are the types of things that do not happen in bear markets, my friend. New all-time highs in European banks. All of the major U.S. indexes well above the prior cycle highs. I mean, we call those uptrends. We call those bull markets where I grew up. What are you doing about it?
Well, I'm not a big international stock trader. I mean, I have international exposure in my retirement funds, but I think where the market is at right now, I'm gonna take my technical hat off and just pontificate here. So, out in SoCal, when you're growing up in this area, one of the things that's just in our DNA, especially if you're a guy, is you get bored on a Friday night and you go, let's go to Vegas, right? You just literally get in your car and you drive to Vegas, just like swingers. It's literally like that. And so we used to have this yearly guys trip. We got a little bit older. We started flying to Vegas. We used to fly Friday night. Then we started flying Friday morning. Then we started flying Thursday afternoon on the stripper flight, right? Where all the strippers from OC go out to Vegas for the weekend and work and then come back with 10 grand cash. So this one trip we went out there, we just partied so hard. I was in my 20s. We partied Thursday night. We stayed out all night, slept in Friday, party Saturday. I came back Saturday to my hotel room and the sun was rising. It was Sunday morning. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to feel like crap tomorrow morning. I get up Sunday morning. We're at the pool, hanging out, before we go to the airport. I felt pretty good. I'm like, wow, 3 days of drinking. I feel great. Felt great at the airport. I'm like, I didn't get a hangover. Woke up on Monday morning with the worst hangover in my life. And what I realized is, I was still drunk. I like the alcohol hadn't even started processing out of my system. The market right now is trying to figure out, okay, did we dodge a bullet? Are we going to get to some sort of resolution on these tariffs and we have a little, flesh wound and then we just keep going? Or is this massive Monday morning hangover still coming? And I think it puts us in a weird position because technically so many charts right now look so good. The problem is you get the wrong tweet or you get the wrong piece of data and that could all be erased. So it's a challenging environment, I would say, right now.
I got to tell you, Brian, I hear that a lot. I'm hearing that every day. Oh, but one tweet. Oh, but the orange man. Oh, but this time is different.
Did I say it in that tone? Oh, one tweet.
No,
Okay,
not you.
I wasn't whining.
No, you're cool. You're
okay,
cool.
cool.
You're like that guy in Half Baked where it's like, fuck you, you're cool. You know that part? You're the cool guy.
I haven't seen the movie, but I know it, yeah.
You haven't seen Half Baked?
I'm not a pothead. I'm not into.
Oh my God, I can't even deal with you. I can't even have this conversation.
Is that Jim Brewer? Does Jim Brewer play that guy, or who
Dude,
plays that?
You have to. No, it's the other guy. I'm Cuban B. Yes, Cuban B. No.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the movie. You got to watch the movie. Come on.
Sure.
So anyway, the point is, every day, seriously, I swear to God, every day, I hear somebody say exactly what you just said. There's always the but one tweet, but the orange man, but the guy's crazy, but this. I think the Trump squeeze is on. I think everybody thinks exactly that. They're waiting for the next tweet. They're waiting for the next shoe to drop. They don't trust the guy. Maybe all valid reasons, to be fair. But I've been taking the other side of that. I like the other side. If you saw Trump squeeze 1.0 back in 2017, holy shit, did the market rip. And the U.S. underperformed during Trump squeeze 1.0. I think Trump squeeze 2.0 is in play. Let's go.
Yeah, that's how we've been playing it in the Lund Loop. I'm going to throw the second Josh Brown quote in. He got asked once at Stocktoberfest by a guy like, how do you combat high frequency trading? And he said, with low frequency trading. During this whole jump in volatility since basically February 21st when we started to fall over, I like to swing trade, and it hasn't really been a swing trade environment. So what I've just been doing is buying strategic positions in long-term names as they've come in, and they're not really trades, but they're things that are paying off as we've firmed up. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, as a technician, I think we're kidding ourselves if we pretend that there's not always some part of us that wants to factor in the what if, right? I mean, show me the technician that can literally look like a machine at their charts and never have any emotions come in, and I'll show you a liar. It's been harder for me during this last few months to just look at the charts and say, okay, technically we're getting stronger. We've stopped going down. We're recapturing moving averages. We're recapturing support resistance levels. We're putting in higher lows. The charts are looking better. I see it, and we talk about it every day, and we see opportunities every day. but it's still in the back of my mind that we are in a different type of environment. We've never really had an administration that was so social media happy as this one. And we've never had a situation where the market could react as strongly. So it's just something to be aware of.
Yeah. Shout out Eve 6. What do you do on a day like today, Brian? Are you thinking about the FOMC much? I think we have an announcement and press conference this afternoon, 2:30.
What's the Eve 6 shout out? What was that? I know the band Eve 6. What's the shout out?
Great 2000s band. So Christopher Brown, you guys were talking about SoCal, and he said, SoCal is where my mind states, but
That's
it's
right.
not my state of my demented as the motives. Bam, you know.
Right. That's a great song. Yeah.
It
They're a hidden gem. They got overshadowed by Green Day because they're a trio, just like Green Day, and Green Day is, whatever.
Totally.
No, I'm not really I'm not thinking about the FOMC except for how the market reacts. When the market reacts crazy to the FOMC, to the PPI, to the CPI, to again a tweet, that's usually not the best environment for me in terms of because I like to swing trade. Like I like it when nobody even knows the FOMC is meeting, or when someone's like, "Oh, PPI is today." So we'll see if the market doesn't have a crazy reaction to the FOMC. That will be good. Like I like it when the market doesn't do what you think it should do. Like when Tesla recently had those horrible earnings, and people were like, "Can someone explain to me why Tesla is up?" That's the market telling you we think the worst is in. Right? It's not doing what you think it should do. When Spotify had dropped the other day on earnings, and then it erased that drop and is right back where it was. I like things like that. So if the FOMC comes out with, I'd love the FOMC to come out with some quote bad news, and the market just shake it off. That would be great.
Maybe you get a little hawkish Powell and a ripper, this afternoon. That's the kind of stuff I think you're talking about. And
100%.
Tim Arreo tweeted yesterday, I don't know if he was trying to get everybody ready to maybe consider hikes, but he put out a tweet yesterday kind of saying like it's mixed, on the Fed board in terms of whether we actually might need a hike due to rising prices from tariffs.
Right.
I thought that was interesting. Market just wore,
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there are some realities about tariffs. This is not a theoretical thing. At some point, they will hurt people. But what I think a lot of investors don't realize is they'll hurt our trading partners as much, if not more than us. And that means those politicians, there's a reality there. They have to come to the table. This is not we're not in a tweet war here. We're not just like who can zing the other guy the best. You can't just take your ball and go home. These politicians are going to have to answer to their constituencies. And if their economies are getting slammed, they're going to be in trouble. And they know that. So as much as they may hate Trump or think America's the bad guy, they're more incentivized to come to the table than we are, for sure.
I think that price action in China is telling you that today, because Bank of China came out, cut rates, right? They're trying to help the situation over there. And the market's kind of like, no, we need more than that. We need you to go make a deal, right? So,
yeah, and there's even anecdotal information in China about political unrest, about some protests, about people being upset. Again, this is not a theoretical situation. This is a real world thing. People forget that because they get on Twitter and they're experts about Pakistan and India today, or whatever. But these are real things that have real consequences, and those levers put pressure on people to do things.
You think we'll get this, like some sort of deal in this big announcement end of the week or next week? What do you make of this big announcement? What's a big announcement going to be?
Look, again, we're just getting out of technicals here and talking theoretically, but I think Trump just needs an excuse to say, okay, it's done now, we're going forward, right? I think he just needs some sort of way to spin this and move forward. And I'll tell you what, as much as people have been bitching about what he's doing and he's intentionally tanking the economy, whatever, right, wrong, and different, if we get back to all-time highs, all this will be forgiven. I guarantee you, right? Nobody will care. Price will lead the narrative. So I think he knows that. I'm not sure we're going to get one like silver bullet, like everything's done, but I think we'll probably get something that tells us we're moving in that direction, and the market's going to anticipate that hopefully and start, firming up even more.
Why do you think so many people believe China's like so powerful and so scary? Like you hear this a lot, Bill in the chat. So this is just a common thing I'm hearing from everybody. China can take the pain. They could take it more than the United States. What do you think makes people think this?
Look, there's a certain type of person in. I've been around for a long time, and I never understand when people hate on America. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm not trying to say we're the, oh, America great. We have our faults, right? But empirically, there's probably been no greater force for good and progress as a whole. Again, than the United States, and it's like when there's like a star football quarterback, at your high school, there's always people just hate on them from their own high school. Like, they're hating on the guy who's going to win the game for the whole team. And I don't get it. It's a weird human trait. And so I think that plays into that narrative. Like, well, China can take it better than we can, or like that country's better, or, we're going to get screwed. And I don't understand it. I mean, I'm not a jingoistic, everything we do is great, but like, I'm also like a realist, and I can look at the facts and I can look at data. And yeah, I think China needs us more than we need them. Doesn't mean it's not going to hurt for us, but and both countries need each other. That's the point. Like, I think politicians on both sides at some point have to go, yeah, we need to figure this thing out.
I think it happens soon. And I think, you know what, like you said, markets don't really seem to care anyway. You look around the world, all these countries that got slammed with ridiculous tariffs by the United States, they're all trading back to all-time highs, or at least new cycle highs. So,
and what I love is there's still people out there that are saying the bottom's not in. This is, the second shoe is going to drop. Wait till you see what happens. And that may happen. It may not happen. But if everybody was on that, yeah, that's all over, let's get in, let's get in the boat and go, I'd be a little bit more skeptical. But I like having naysayers, haters, market climbs a wall of worry. So I like that there's those people still on the other side, because here's what's going to happen. A lot of charts and the indexes are at a really critical point right now, where I think if they get a good thrust upwards, not only are any shorts that are still out there going to have to cover, but anyone that's long is going to have to get on board, because they're going to be super worried about missing out. So I think we're at a really important point in the next, couple days to a week to see where we go from here.
Ozzy, just DM Brian if you want to find out more about the stripper flights. Just DM Brian.
So I'll tell you real quick. Here's how it works. You get on it Thursday, and you're sitting next to this absolutely gorgeous, and you know what she does, right? But you pretend you don't. You go, oh, hey, what are you doing? You going out to Vegas for friends and family? Oh, no, I dance. Oh, where do you dance? Over at the Horseshoe. Oh, what's that? And by the time you get off the plane, you've got like 20 free comps to get into the club. So that's the move. That was the move when I was in my 20s. I haven't done that move since I've had kids. So.
Hey, what are you going to Vegas for? Yeah.
Right. And it's so funny because they all live here in OC. They fly out there on Thursday. They work for 2-3 days. And I swear, I've had this conversation with them. They come back with like 5-10 grand cash, and that's their job. Oh.
They bust them down from Miami here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Stripper bus.
If you want to DM Brian about anything, the link to his Twitter and site are both in the description on YouTube. He's at BC Lund.
Wait, real quick. Octa. That's the one you want to watch. Octa's coming out of stage 1, I believe. So,
dude, these cyber stocks in general, there's just a lot of good-looking charts in cyber, right?
Sorry, Spencer. And hey, congrats, man. You're almost there, right?
Yeah, we're in the home stretch. We're at the point.
Are you nervous?
Am I nervous? Maybe. We're at the point now where I'm starting to figure out, okay, who do I give this task to for when I'm not around? Who do I give that task to when I'm not around? Right? But
if it makes you feel any better, it's just like anything in life that seems insurmountable. You'll like I was the same way. Like, how the hell am I going to be a father? But you'll figure it out. And I've got a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old, so somehow I did it. If I can do it, trust me, you can.
Words to live by. Appreciate that. All right, Brian Lund.
Thanks, Brian.
Every month. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right. It's 9:31. Markets are open. Shoot. What's going on out there?
What's really moving these markets today, Spencer?
I have to look at get my thing set up the way I like it.
Breaking news just came across on my data feed with no source. U.S. Vice President Vance and Europe are on the same team. Great.
Okay. I don't know. All right, we got Mary in the house. Let's bring her out, and then we'll do some recess and hop out of here.
Mark, hold on. More breaking news. According to Mark Watson in the chat, guys, Pay attention. This is big, if true. China is in better financial shape, debt-wise, than we are currently. Fuck. How does he know? Shit.
I do think it's like somewhat of a weird racial stereotype to say that Chinese can take more pain. There's probably some racial
Thank you.
thing
I
going
agree.
on there.
I agree. That's a shit take. People should be careful because they sound like idiots.
Yeah, okay. Mary, are you here? Go, let's go.
Hey guys,
Hi, Mary.
What's up?
Strazza, you're looking so tan. Have you been golfing?
I just can't stop getting so much color. I'm
Oh my
just a
goodness.
lot of vitamin D these days.
You
Yeah.
live in paradise. It's so nice down there. I want to go back.
I'm trying to practice my golf so I don't embarrass myself at TPC Louisiana next week.
That's right. That's right.
What's going on? How are you? Happy hump day.
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you. Yeah, so I am kind of the last couple of weeks, since we had the, kind of the crash or whatever, the pullback, I've been scanning for stocks, relative to 52-week highs. So, we were doing that correction, I was looking for strength. And so the first chart that I brought along today, you guys have already talked about it, Uber. This one has just been such a great relative strength leader. Obviously with the earnings, it's pulling back now. So I've been in Uber for quite a while, so been in and out of it a number of times. And I'd love to add to a position if we start to break out above those highs from, what was that, September 24? That's roughly around 87. So, it made a pretty big move here in the last couple of weeks, maybe let it digest a little bit more, and then it's off to the races. But, this company has just been so strong for so long. So I like this one long still.
It's a great chart. I think it's the right theme right now too. Right, it's back to growth theme. This is one of the leaders. Love it.
Yep. Also, with that kind of 52-week high scan that I do, Melly is still popping up. I've mentioned this one a number of times, and it's just one of those that I just want to put on people's radars again, just because there's still an opportunity to get involved here. Roughly around that, against that 2000 level, that's the level. And, especially for someone like me that kind of focuses on U.S. stocks, this is great international exposure. So, you can't go wrong buying the Amazon of, I've been talking about Amazon too, and I'm watching that one for that to get back above 190. So, again, it's the relative strength, it's proximity to highs. I love this one still from to the long side, as long as we're above that 2000.
I didn't realize it was a $2,000 stock. I don't know where I don't look at the y-axis all that often.
It's been going up a lot for a long time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Mary, are you still in Robinhood? Because they got the earnings out of the way. The stock still looks great, as strong as anything in crypto, really as strong as anything in speculative growth. Just continue to do everything right. Robinhood stock looks great still.
I'm still involved. Yeah, it was funny. I was going back through the tweets when I first originally tweeted that out. It was a year ago, I think February, when you guys gave me so much crap for this trade. But it was that base that was basically completing at the time, and it hasn't looked back since. And
this is a great example of why we shouldn't use our brains too much in doing this, because I just thought a little bit too hard, and the base was perfect, and I'm fundamentals. What? And look, and you miss it. Yep.
Yeah. So I've taken profits along the way, but very much still in, just because it's got a long way still. I mean, it hasn't even tagged the highs, so I think it's still got a long ways to go. So I'm holding on to that one. But along that same theme, in fact, I think if I heard correctly, BC Lund just mentioned this one, Okta. I brought that chart along. So funny enough, this is one that I'm also very interested in. Again, it's that base, not at the bottom. This was kind of more of correction and then consolidation, but it's got a nice base here that's been building over the last couple of years, and we've kind of starting to break out from that. If you anchor the VWAP from the highs, there's another kind of indicator that I love to use. And so I think as long as we are above, let's say 110. It's moving up, and risk is then to the upside.
Yep. Love it.
So, yep, love this one. And in the theme of other bases, I've just kind of been all over the place. Honestly, I've been shopping lots of different places, but so many different things have been hitting my scans. The last one I brought along was Comstock Resources. Again, another great base. And so
huge base.
Huge base, yes. And I have been stalking this one for several months, I want to say, just because it's been really tight consolidation here the last number of weeks. I keep getting alerts triggered, and then we don't close the week above. And so I've not yet gotten in, waiting for that confirmation above. What is that?
You're getting it right now. I mean,
are we there?
It looks like it's happening as we speak, up another 1.3% today, trading almost $22. That's going to be just about a new high right there.
Yeah. Right there. So I love this one. And this is an energy space. So very different, lots of different
earnings
things.
too. Just had earnings, kind of popped it out of this little coil. Yeah.
There you go. That might be the catalyst that finally does it. So that's kind of what I've been watching. And, we've been talking a lot more about speculative tech. I'm excited that we've got a new 2 to 100 club report coming out on Wednesdays. We do 2 to 100. So I can't wait to go shopping on that list and see what the guys have found this week on the 2 to 100 club.
And we're doing another special scan today. We've been doing special ad hoc scans every week. We did relative strength and momentum one last week. We're going to do a new relative highs scan today. And then we're going to do like a bull flag pattern scan later this week.
I like it.
We're just trying new things. Trying new things.
You're in the arena, right?
In the arena, taking chances.
That's right. All right,
I
Mary.
was sad to see Bitcoin kind of fall back in the range a couple days ago, but now it looks like it's moving again.
Looked like a little false start, right?
Speaking of flags, yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Yep.
Just like that.
So, exactly. A lot of spicy stuff going on. I heard there's some events happening today. Is there
a little
stuff going on?
Pow pow.
Oh, is there a pow pow?
Okay. Pow pow. JD Vance, we think the Russians are asking for too much. Huh. It's just so much going on, so much news.
So much news.
Muddy Waters going after App Lovin'.
Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Do they just pick like the most ferocious uptrends and try to fade them? Like, are these guys even trying?
Muddy Waters. I haven't heard that name in a few years. I didn't know there was
Robinhood here. I like Robinhood.
Yeah.
I might follow Mary into this one. I might just have to buy some. I'm just gonna suck it up and buy some calls at this point.
Have you not traded this in all this time?
I got in and out around an earnings report last year when it was coming out of that base. I could tell you exactly. I got shook right the hell out of it. I don't know. Was it in August? It might have been in August. No, I think it was October of last year. Yeah. Shook right out on that earnings candle. Halloween, spooky candle.
All right, let's do a recess.
Yeah. What do you got?
I brought along some pictures. Want to show them? So this week is tulip time where I live. So it's a big week-long festival because I live in Holland. So all the Dutch, it's a Dutch settlement. And so they plant millions of tulips all around the entire city. So parks are just filled with hundreds, thousands of tulips. And so all the people come in and we've got all the tourists and it's a nightmare. My kids are in parades this week. And so it's fun. I'll get my once yearly elephant ear at the carnival. But it's so great that spring is back. And I also plant a ton of tulips. Steve, I always send you a couple of pictures of my tulips. I brought one of them along.
So pretty.
If you put my other one in the deck, I plant about 100 or 200 tulips just in my yard, just because it's the first kind of pop of color that finally comes through after a long winter. So the tulips are blooming here in Michigan.
One of the all-time most beautiful flowers, and they're a lot cheaper today than they used to be.
The original Bitcoin. Yeah.
Speaking of shopping the deals. Yeah.
They're my favorite flower. So that's why I kind of go a little bit overboard in the planting.
Mary, how long does tulip season last?
It depends on the weather. If we get a really hot stretch, then they'll just. But this season's been great because we got kind of some warmish weather, so they came up and then started to bloom, and then it got cool. So like our nights have been like in the 40s, days have been in like low 60s. So they've been hanging around quite a bit. In fact, we're in like peak bloom right now.
Doesn't
So
the
we'll probably
ground
get a couple more weeks.
doesn't the ground need to freeze and then get warm again, and then that's when they bloom, or no?
I mean, we put them in the fall, and so they, are dormant all winter. I don't know. They've got to go in the fall. We can't really plant them in the spring and let them come up. So I'm not entirely sure what the life process is of a tulip bulb, but
From what I understand, because I have inquired, I can't have tulips because the ground doesn't freeze down here. You would have to do something like trick it into thinking it froze, like in the freezer, and then plant it. It just
okay.
too complicated. I can't figure that
Well,
out.
it's just too hot. They like the cool weather. It's just too hot for them to even. They might not even like come up. Like ranunculus, they'll go dormant over like 75 degrees or something like that.
What's behind you? These are tulips behind you?
Yeah, these are some from my yard. So
Oh.
there's a variety of different ones in there.
Lovely. Ooh,
Yeah,
cute.
thanks. Yeah. That's what I love about tulips. There's so many, like all the colors, and there's all these different variations and shapes and like weird. Yeah. So fun.
Different species.
Exactly.
Spencer?
What do you got, Spencer?
Not much, honestly. I don't know if I have it. We haven't been doing recess every day anymore, and but my life is not super eventful at the moment. I'm just sort of in a holding pattern with everything, so I got nothing. Sorry, I don't really have anything cool to share.
Thanks for depressing everyone.
I mean, we're going for our 36-week ultrasound in a couple hours, so I guess that's exciting.
Oh, fun.
I don't know, but we're getting there.
Go Knicks.
Yeah, game 2 is tonight.
Mhm.
Yep, we'll be
That's what I
watching.
got.
Yep, for sure. Cool.
All right. Let's
All
go
right.
make some trades.
What do we got today? It's Wednesday. Programming change. Usually Sean does the options jam session on Thursdays, but he'll be out tomorrow. So he's doing the options jam session today at 11 a.m. We've also got a special live stream at noon with Herb and JC. That's also on the channel. And
they're going to talk about hims and hers. They'll be talking about hims and hers. Herb's hot right now. Herb's hot in the back room about hims and hers and the statements we made about the Andrew Dudham. So they're going to talk about hims and hers. Don't miss it. Herb's going to have some takes on this.
They may talk about hims and hers. They may also talk MP materials. I don't know. You'll find out. And also, members of Hot Corner Insider, you'll get your weekly video this afternoon. It's 1:00 for that. That's what we have today. On tomorrow's show, John Kolovos would join us. That's exciting.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Really love John. Oh, that's great.
That is what we've got. So thank you for watching. Thank you, chat. I will enjoy the calm before the storm. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Go make some money. Hit the like. Do all that good stuff. And if JC were here, I guess JC's computer died. He messaged us like a half hour ago saying my computer died. Very convenient. I don't know.
It was just an Irish exit. Mid-image. I mean, nothing like it.
YOLO responsibly is what he would say if you were here. See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
I can't take no